So I've been pestering you with questions about the NCAA tournament since January. Are you starting to really look at like what you need to do to get as far as your comfort level with where the team is going into the tournament?
No, I mean, what does that do? If I would have started that in January, what's it do? We just know we're guaranteed 4 opportunities. That's all we're guaranteed right now. We got 3 regular season, and we're guaranteed 1 in the Pac-12. Beyond that one, we got to create our own opportunities. So we're only guaranteed those 4. So, and all of them are away from home. All of them are 3 road games and 1 neutral. So we just have to take those 4 opportunities and make the absolute most we can make out of it. We're healthy. Tom's mask is gone. We're about as healthy as we've been all year, and we're playing well. Now, with that said, we're going to the mountains, which is a hard road trip where we were fortunate enough to get a sweep last year, but it's always been a very difficult road trip. And Utah's playing well. Utah's won 7 out of 9. They've won 4 in a row. They're 1 game behind us in the league standings. And then you go to Colorado, who they've already beaten us once. So it's a very tough road that we got to take, but we know those are 4 opportunities that we have, and now we got to take it 1 game at a time. We got to make the most of it, and then everything else kind of take care of itself. The more you think about it, the more what do we do? Weigh 1 game more than the other, then you win a game and you lose 3 in a row. Or it's, as an athlete and as a coach, I think it's about staying in the moment, and whatever your next opportunity is, put everything into that and make the most out of that before you move to the next one.
What about trying to get top 4 in the Pac-12 so you can avoid that?
Well, that's part of it. Obviously, if you take advantage of the opportunities here late in the season, you have a chance to do that. But again, we've got 3 games. Some teams have 4 games. There's a lot of what happens in that amount of time will determine how the Pac-12 is slotted. So there's not one slot that has been slotted yet. So we just have to. The first option and the first opportunity is Utah, and we know that's going to be a very tough game, and we've got to go make the most out of that. But over the next 2 weeks, we'll see how that slots out.
What have you seen from them that's had them playing well recently?
Well, Johnson Tillman didn't play in game 1 here, and they're zoning a lot more, where when they were in here, we saw a little bit more man. They've always liked mixing their defenses, but they're really zoning a lot. So I think they've changed a little bit of their mindset defensively. And they got a lot of guys. You got Bibbins, who's leading the conference in 3-point makes, or at least percentage, maybe percentage and makes. So huge catalyst to what they do. And they've got Ralston and Colette inside that really give them a good inside-outside threat. And then Bearfield, I think, is somebody that is very dangerous, and he's always been dangerous at home. So it's they're playing well. Very similar to when they came in here. When they came in here back in January or early February, they were playing really well. So we knew we had to play well to win that one, and we did. And now same situation. They're playing well again as we go into their place.
How does your preparation change at all this week to account for the altitude changes when you go over there?
Not much, because I don't know of a facility around here that's high enough to mimic it. So there's not much that we can do from that standpoint. That's what, if you feed on that, then this trip becomes, really difficult. But, NBA teams travel into Salt Lake City, they travel into Denver. You just have to handle those things. As a player, if you're worried about altitude, if you're worried about, I can't catch my second breath in time, then you're probably worrying about the wrong things and you get beat. The court's the same, the baskets are the same size, their personnel is the same as what our personnel is, so it's just about going and executing your game plan. So we don't even really talk about that or even discuss that. It's really about just doing what we normally do, from our eating habits, our fluids, our rest, everything's you keep that the same this time of year.
You talked about how much Aaron means to this team. Surely he has some great numbers as well. He wasn't on that late season list for the John Wooden Award. Why do you think he hasn't kind of gathered some of the national attention?
Oh, that's a hard one, because I don't understand that. Because especially the Cousy list, that makes no sense to me. You can look at stats, and you can't prove to me otherwise. You look at wins, losses of people that are on that on that list. He's easily top 5 on that list in wins losses of what his team is doing. And then when you look at stats, he's probably in the top 2 or 3. In the history, you're looking at UCLA. Since Bill Walton, there hadn't been anybody getting 19 and 5. So what Aaron Holiday is doing is extremely special, and we've been saying it all year. But he's doing it on a team that is second in the league right now, and played well all year long. He's been highly consistent. And the thing that's not in the statistics is who he's guarding every night. I watch some of these guards that are on the watch list, and they don't guard anybody. They're guarding the worst guard on the other team. He gets the best. He's got Bibbins. I'm going to tell you, he's going to guard Bibbins. So it doesn't matter who we play, whoever the key guard is on the opponent's team, that's who he's defending. And he's done that all year long, and he's just done it at a really high level. So there's nothing that any committee or anybody can tell me otherwise. It makes 0 sense that he's not on the talk of one of the top 5 point guards in the country.
Coach, what was your initial reaction of the news coming out of Louisville this morning?
Actually, I just heard about it. I just got done working out, and I've been watching film on Utah, so I don't really have any. I've been straight Utah, so I really don't have much reaction to that yet.
The responsibility of Aaron guarding the best guard on the other team. At what point in his career were you confident in giving him that responsibility?
Well, he's always been, obviously as a freshman, he's always wanted it, and he's always done a really good job with it. But just like a lot of freshmen, he's much better now than what he was as a freshman, both offensively and defensively, and that's a credit to him. But he's always had that DNA in that he likes that competitive fire. He likes that competition of, oh, you're the best on that team in the backcourt. I want that challenge. And he's had that high school. He's the youngest of a lot of talent in the Holiday family, so he's had to have that in his DNA just to survive at home. And I think he's brought that to UCLA. And through his 3 years, we've never had a problem putting him on high-level guards to defend.
Speaking of high-level guards, what's the kind of game plan to go up against a guy like George King in Colorado?
Well, if you ask me that on Friday, I'll be able to tell you. I mean, literally, my whole focus is Utah. George, my relationship with George goes way back because he played on my son's AAU team back in the day. So I've got a great amount of respect for George. So, and he's having a tremendous year, tremendous senior year for them, and had a huge game. If I remember right, he had a huge game against us here in Pauley, and it was really the reason why they won. So when we get to Friday and we get to Boulder, my attention will turn to him.